Welcome to Coffee Talk and Tech. My name is John Ryan, and you are probably shopping for a switcher, and you came to the right spot. We're taking a look at this guy right here. It's the RGBlink Mini Pro. And so if you're shopping around for this, I want to go over a few things today that might help you make a better decision. What is a video switcher? Why would you want one? It's basically a video switcher lets you select multiple video sources, right? Which can save you a lot of money, because if you know what an ELGATO cam link is, well, that's going to help you be able to take care of that, right? You don't have to buy 4 of them. You can just buy one video switcher and be able to pull that in. So it will let you select and switch multiple video sources. This could be used for like either cameras, graphics, tablets, iPads, and even for your phone. This could be used for live streaming or for video production. RGBlink reached out to me and asked me to review their product, and I welcome the challenge to show you many of the features of this video switcher and why you might or might not choose this for your needs. So RGBlink has not had any input on this review. If this is the first time coming to my channel, you should know that I give my honest opinion on products, and I just don't go over topics that you can find in advertising. I want to show you the real user experience. So what is the job of a video switcher? It's switching video inputs, allowing you to choose the source you want to show. This can be done on 3 ways on this Mini Pro. First, by directly pushing one of the 4 input buttons that are right on top. Second, by using that T-bar that's on the video switcher. And 3, by tapping the LCD screens on the appropriate input, which then would allow you for seamless transitions and effects. This definitely adds to the overall visual quality of your live stream or your video production. This can make your video cuts much more dynamic and professional, no matter if it's on the corporate presentation level or live streaming or streaming sports for that matter. Speaking of transitions, the Mini has 15 transitions built right into it. Before we get too far, let's take a look at what you get in the box and the ins and outs of the RGBlink Mini Pro. So when I meant a fast unboxing, I really mean fast. So here's the RGBlink. Let's put that to the side and take a look at these pamphlets. You know what to do with those. Throw them to the side. All right, what do we got in this little box here? Open this baby up, and we have the cables for the headphones and the mic. It's a splitter, goes right into the mic or the line out. And that's a USB cable. This is a USB-C cable. And this is the block for the USB-C. And this is the block for the USB-C cable, because that's what powers the unit. Take this out, take a quick look. Let's take that sticker off because it's so satisfying. There we go. All right, the unit is made out of plastic, but it does still feel pretty sturdy in general. And it's got a little 1/4-20 on the side for mounting. I don't know if you'd use that, but everything feels pretty good. The T-bar feels smooth. It's a pretty nice unit. And then as we take a look at the back side right here, we have our HDMI outputs 1 through 4. Then you have your multi-view output here where you can run a separate monitor to check your multi-view if you're doing that sort of thing. And this is your USB for power. And then you have a built-in switch, which I really enjoy and like having. And the great thing is you got these perforations on the back, on the side, that really help alleviate the heat that builds up in the inside of the unit. And then let's go to more of our outs and ins. You have a webcam USB 3 here, and it's not what it implies. It just means that you can pull this into OBS, Teams, vMix as one unit. So you could pull the whole thing in. It will say RGBlink, USB 3, and then you can use several cameras, 4 to be frank with you, in here and flip through them. You have your program out, which is another monitor if you want to, or you can just see what your program looks as it's going on, along with the multi-view on the backside that we just said. And then the record is a USB stick that you plug right in there. Easily records your whole program, which is great. And then here is your stream control, as they say. It's an Ethernet that you can use. and that's how you connect to the software to make some changes. And here's your audio, which is headphones and a line-in mic input. So, and they give you a little adapter that you can plug into one and use both at the same time. The real cool thing is that you have a touch screen. So along with a monitor here, you can visually see each input is up and active, which is kind of cool when you're using it by itself. And we're going to get into some of the things about this and see if this unit might be for you. All right, so let's go over some of the menu items in this RGBlink Mini Pro. And we'll start off by seeing, you can see I have two cameras connected currently on this screen. And we're going to hit into the menu, and right away we see picture-in-picture, PTZ, views, key, effects, and audio. We push again and it gives you another page. It says video out, record, mode, settings, logo, and stream. At video out, and then it's showing that we can control exactly what you want to put on each HDMI. If you want the preview, if you want the program to be there, you can make different choices on each of these HDMIs and what is going out. And then you could control the format of the resolution. So in this, it's at 1920 by 1080p at 30 frames per second. And you can go into each one of those settings and make those changes in here. You can have other multiple settings in here that you have, like if you want your sound column in your program out, your viewfinder, do you want the LCD info? There's just a couple different things you can do as you choose each video out. And then the record is you can connect an SSD or a USB stick, and you can get the info, how much is used on here, the configuration. So if you want to change the quality of the recording, this is at H.265. And then you could turn that on or off right here. And then you can go into mode. Mode is for how you're switching. Are you going to use the buttons or are you going to use the T-bar? And you can make that difference and change right here. And then also you can adjust how long you want your transition. Then you go into settings. There's a lot in here in settings. At the top, you have your language, your device version. Tao is what you use to make some changes in here and adjust your live streaming settings. We'll get into that later. Information input as far as your HDMIs, what they're coming in, what you're recording in, what they're set at. You can do some color settings in here, so you can change the brightness, the contrast in HDMI, the saturation, your colors. So that's pretty awesome to have for each of your HDMIs. Then you have your time settings, which is your time and date, which I have not done this at all yet. In here you have your fan speed also. You can change the speed of your fan. I have it on 3 right now. You can change it to auto, and then it might ramp up or it might be quieter depending how warm it is in here. Basically, I keep it on 3 and it's really reasonable at that. Auto PV, this is basically how long before I push a button and then it refers back to the menu button, goes back to showing what's on the LCD screen. You can go in here and test all your keys. This is where you do an update for your firmware, and this is where you come if you have any troubles at all. You can reset right here and it will bring everything back to the original settings on this. So settings has a lot to go through. And then your logo, you can enable this logo here and you can make adjustments on the screen of your logo. And we'll get into that a little bit later. The stream here, you can stream, you can change your bit rate here. You can change your setting as far as vertical or horizontal. And then you can put your stream keys in here. And I'll show a little bit more about that later because it coincides with the logo also. And then let's go back to the original picture-in-picture here. So picture-in-picture, That's on right now. So I'll just give you an example of what the picture-in-picture may be, even though it's just me right now. So here's your picture-in-picture layout. You could do the preset and change it around the screen where you might want it to be. And you can see the differences it's making down in the corner. You can even have it like a half and half of what I'm showing, which this is my desktop. So it's like a half fade in here. And then they have this little side-by-side configuration. Let me hit that again. There it is. And it pulls in both of my inputs. And this is, again, like my desktop here. And then you can adjust each one of these, which I want to kind of show you because it kind of entails also of how you deal with your green screening. You got the scale and crop in here, and you would have to either pull another HDMI in and put your background from an HDMI, and then you can adjust A or B of what you're going to green screen on top. You do your layering in here, your cropping, and your adjusting in here. And the PTZ would be connected through your Ethernet cord. And I don't have a PTZ, but this is where you make the changes in here and make the adjustments and connect it through your network. And then you would control it from this knob right here, which is nice to see. You don't see that on a lot of lower end switchers. And then you can see sometimes that's a little bit of a problem, is this screen doesn't like my fingers and I have to use a pen to make some different changes here. Then you have views. You can have different views saved, but what I learned here is make sure you save your original view, because as you take these, you make the settings, you hold it down here, you can save your view, and then it gets saved in shortcuts. And I'll quickly show you what I mean over in shortcuts, because once they're saved there in shortcuts, now you push this button and here's your views. And so basically it would pick up what I saved and what I chose to save as far as my views. Now for me, I saved my original number one HDMI, and then the second view was me going smaller with a little corner picture in picture and showing my second HDMI. And then I was able to go back to here. Now, definitely save your original view. That's what I learned. Otherwise, I was having issues if you don't save your original view of what you're using right now as your input for HDMI 1. But I think it's pretty cool because once you get to learn this, you could have several views set up and keep on toggling back and forth with these as these shortcuts, which is definitely helpful once you learn, kind of what you're doing. Okay, then we can go into key, and this is where you would do your green screening. So you'd turn your green screen on, then you would choose green or blue to key out, and then you'd make your adjustments right in here. It worked pretty good for me. It's just that learning that the limitations of the machine to green screen, which I'll talk about more. All right, let's go into effects, which is transitions. And you can pick up to about 15 of these transitions. So let's quickly just go through a few of these and see what we mean by the different looks. Okay, I'll go back and forth here. There you go. This is a little bit of a slide. Change down. Boom. Boom. Yeah, so, I mean, it's loaded with a bunch of them, which is quite nice. There we go. Sometimes I forget which one I'm on, which HDMI. Okay. There we go. That's pretty cool. It's like Venetian blinds. Oh, that's nice, little circle. Okay, so you get to see there's a bunch of transitions that you get to use and play around with. and that's pretty a cool thing to have, definitely. And then we can go into your audio. And then in your audio, you can pick your line or your mic. Then you can pick also each HDMI. So as you pick each HDMI, you can mix your audio. You can have audio follow video, or you can have off. So all depending on what you're doing. So if you're in live kind of corporate work and you want each camera to pick the audio up, you could put audio follows video. Whatever you show on the screen will come up. And then you can adjust your volume based off of your camera settings that you'll have to make. And then also in here, as far as each camera for each HDMI. And also you have your audio for the line and the mic. So as you hit these, you'll be able to have your gain go up and down to 15, turn your line audio on or your mic audio. Okay, and we're back to the beginning. Now granted, we saw this takes you to your shortcuts, and this is your main menu item, but you didn't see me use these toggles here. And these will be used when you're sizing up your A and B picture-in-picture to do layering. So if you go and hit this picture-on-picture here, and you had to make a layout presentation, and you're gonna pick that layer where I'll be up into the corner there, and then you're gonna pick that to adjust. That's where these will make the difference in each use here. So as I go and toggle these buttons right here, and what I should have done is move me over out of the way, but I'm here. So here we go. See how that's getting smaller? And I'm sizing it up and down. So you can do that with each layer on top of each other. So that's where a big use of these toggle buttons are. And then you make a little, you can also hit the little reset in the middle here to just reset to the normal size that's on here. Now, if I wanted to change me, I would go back in here, push that button to A now. I don't know if you can see that, but now that changed to A in the middle. And then when I toggle this up or down, it changes me in the main screen. And that's how you would do your layering. So basically, I could layer myself on top of the background and key myself, and that's how you would do green screen, or you'd pull a background in from another HDMI, but you would have to use another HDMI to make that happen. So that's how you do that. And then you have this little crop button over here where you can make adjustments with the cropping also on the sides, depending on the size of your green screen, and you could work with that to just have your green screen be more effective. So that's where that comes into effect. That's pretty cool. Okay. All right. So basically, we went over all the items that we have as far as in the menu system. And now I can show you a few things about how we make adjustments with the logo and connecting to the Tao website. Okay, at some point you're going to sign yourself up for the Tao Cloud, and that's how you make some of the changes that you need to on your RGBlink Mini Pro. And so when you go to sign up for this software, you're going to be asked for a code, and be it known that you get that code right from your RGBlink. So when you go into your software and then you finally register and sign yourself up, you'll be asked for that code, and that code is going to be right here where I'm going to show you right now. And then you're going to go into your settings, and then you're going to hit the Tao. See the Tao right there? Third one down. Tao. Okay. And then it says verification code Mini Pro version 3 is not bonded to the Tao. And then you use this, and you have so many seconds to be able to do this. Now I'm already bonded, so I'm just going to sign in, but that's what you're going to have to do when that comes time to sign up for your Tao Cloud. Okay, so here's my device after I signed into Tao Cloud. Okay, and then we can click on this little icon here. And then all the information about my device shows up. Now, if I was to hit streaming, it would have me pop up right in the device, actually right here. But the basic, here's all the information that's going on right now with my device, the power on time. I'm actually not on wireless, but it's listed like as wireless, so it's no big deal. But basic function here. And here's where I think some of these things are actually falling short. I've had very difficult times with having any of this logo information show up. So what I mean is, if I go into turning the logo on in my device, so I'll go into here, logo, turn this logo on, and now you see exactly what happened at the bottom right hand corner. So no matter what I do or what I put in there, the logo always looks like that. So even if I take the PNG or a BMP file, whatever it may be, it never really comes up, and it just looks like that no matter what. Now, I've pulled it into the software by just going right into here, and then you can just add more. And then you go look for the file and you can add it in. Now, this file itself, straight from RGBlink, won't work. Neither will any file that I use. And I put the proper parameters. You have to go in and size it and make sure it's the correct size. And there's 3 different files that are used. I tried them all and I had no luck. So this never comes up. It never sends it to my device. And that's where it all ends for that logo for me. I reached it out to them, pretty much what it said in the directions. And I did exactly as it was told, and this is what keeps on happening. As far as the picture elements in here, the layer management, none of this has worked for me. The switching effects, so even if I show you here, I push this button, and then I hit a different switch right here. Let's just pick that one right there. And then I go to switch to a different input. It makes no difference. It's the original one that I picked. It's the circle one. So even if I go here and do pick a slide, it's still the circle one that I picked. So none of this seems to work. And the other thing is, most of the stuff on here didn't seem to work. So the T-bar, anything in here did not work for me. As far as this showed the minutes in here, and I noticed that right off the bat. So that worked. Now we can go into here, and I noticed that Tao here, no matter what I do here, I can't get rid of that. I can't delete it. I can't do anything. This second one here, I could delete this. I can get rid of this. So even though they're saying 4 streaming addresses you can put in here, I can really only put 3 because I can't delete this at all. And to be honest with you, it's totally useless because this Tao address does not coincide with the Tao address that I have for my software in here. So if you go into the live broadcast room and you hit enter into here, this is different and the key is different. So even though that's taking up one of my stream keys, I can't change it. And so there's nothing I can do, and I don't understand that. And I mentioned that, and they told me basically that I can go right into my stream keys here and delete it. But it doesn't work for anything but the ones above here. So if I put a different one in here, it will stay. And then what I do is distribute that, and it will go right to the unit itself. And then it will show up. So you would go to stream, and then you would go to menu. No, you go to You go to the menu and you go to stream. And then here are your addresses for Tao Cloud. That's not really panning out for me as far as what they're saying there. Now, I was able to take the Tao address that they're showing me for this live broadcast room. The one that they put in and I can't get rid of. I put that in here and it feeds right into here and it works. So I had no trouble with that. And then you would basically go into here and then you could connect and push out to some of these destinations in here. But this looks like it's trying to sell you some stuff because you have your Star Coin recharge and you're a VIP only for a certain amount of time. And then you have these orders in here and I guess it gives you time for streaming. So I'm really not sure because it doesn't tell you exactly how that all works, but I just noticed that everything as far as being able to change the information for my device wasn't really working like they said it was going to work. And I didn't get any answers. All the other aspects on the device itself has been working fine for me. Things are a little clunky in here, and I think that this is enough to definitely deter a lot of people with this. And I think that's where they're going to really need to work on some of these things to make it easier for people and more consistent because it's definitely a downfall of the unit itself. All right, so I'm using the splitter that comes with the unit that's right into the side right here, and it's going into the mic input or the headphones, and the other side's line. And so if I put it on mic and I listen, I can hear myself. I got myself plugged into that splitter and I can hear myself that way. And this is me definitely boosting it a ton. And I just want to show you that if I don't boost it in my software, this is what it's going to sound like. And it's pretty darn low. So in 1, 2, 3, this is what it sounds like with absolutely no boost at all in my software. And you could see I'm pretty darn close to this mic. And so how much boost am I giving it? In my software, I'm giving it about 12 dB of boost. And that's how I'm getting to these levels like this and be able to talk so easily. Okay, in other parts of the video, when I was wearing my Rode Wireless Go 2 mics, I was connected to an HDMI input from the camera. So it was picking up from my camera, and then I would turn the HDMI audio on, and that's how you were picking me up. But currently, right now, I'm connected right here through the line, 3.5 millimeter line connection to my audio on this yellow cord. And so right now you can pretty much see my Rode Wireless Go 2 and the audio coming in right here. And this is what it sounds like. Here's my conclusion. I know RGBlink has made some huge improvements in some of their new switchers, but can the Mini Pro compete with other contenders in this current market? I personally think making you use Tao Cloud for the logo insertion and for live streaming, because basically you cannot currently update RTMP streaming via using a USB stick, which makes this a tough sale for me. If Tao Cloud is down, or let's say it no longer exists, this switcher is in limbo. And there's no way for the media to be imported for a background for using a green screen, and that's a tough one for me also. The other main problem with most all switchers in this price, they have all had updates in their audio, adding tools like de-essers, gates, and EQs. Yes, the Mini Pro has the PTZ control and the small screen, but I think the screen can be a plus for some people. I found it difficult to see, and for me, it always had a problem recognizing my tapping. As far as recording and doing its most important function as a switcher and using transitions, it worked well. Using it in vMix and OBS was absolutely no problem. The audio though sounded a bit low, but it sounded pretty good. I hope to see RGBlink do some improvements, and I hope this video has also helped you make a better decision for yourselves. Thanks, until the next time, be nice to people. Bye.